Hi Flosstube, I'm Annie and I'm the Proper Stitcher, and welcome to episode number 33. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell. You'll get notifications of when I upload new videos. I record on Thursdays, usually much earlier in the day. Today it's about 7:30 at night. My day got away from me, much like my week has gotten away from me, so I'm coming to you a little bit later in the day, but I didn't want a Thursday to go by without me uploading a video. And if you are returning to my channel, thank you so much for your continued support and for all of your wonderful messages and emails and comments. I really do appreciate your continued support and words of encouragement. I hope you all had a wonderful Halloween. I cannot believe we're already into November. We had a great Halloween here. The weather was nice and cool. My husband and I were able to have a date night with another couple of a friend of ours, another couple, and we just had a good night. My children did not do anything exciting that night. They stayed home and passed out candy for us, and we were able to go out and just have a nice dinner. They were out of school on Monday, so that gave them a chance to just sleep in and have a good day off. But my week, as I said, just got away from me, and I will explain why. Some of my whips had to be put aside because I had something exciting come my way this week that I just had to stitch. And we've all had those moments where they're kind of like your squirrel moment. You know, you see something, you're like, oh, I really need to stitch this. I need to stitch it right now. And so that is something that happened to me this week. Over the weekend, I did work on my kitty corn Halloween quilt, hoping to get it finished by Sunday, but that did not happen. All I have left to do is the binding, and I will have that for you next week. I have 2 quilts that I'm going to put the binding on over the weekend and have them for you next Thursday. So I will go right into what I have been working on this week. So as I mentioned, I had a few things that kind of derailed my plans of stitching. And thank you all so much for watching my Christmas whip parade last week. My husband still didn't understand why I had a Christmas whip parade before Halloween, but that's just the way my timeline worked out this year. I just wanted to show you all of my Christmas whips, and I had a lot of you say that was a lot of Christmas whips, and it's true. And somebody asked me, well, how do you choose which one to stitch? And I wish I had a simple explanation, but what I kind of do is, if I know I need to have something finished this year, or I want to have finished this year, that gets moved to the top of my list. If something that can wait a little longer, I don't feel as pressed to work on that one as much. So that's sort of how I do it. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, I really want to stitch on this. So I think that whatever makes you happy, and I know that some people like to only have one project going at a time, and for me, I just like to have options, and I like to have choices. And yes, that can seem overwhelming to some people, but for me, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about looking at that pile of whips sitting over there next to my chair that needs to be stitched. I just stitch what I want, when I want. Some things keep my attention longer than others, but I do have finishes, and I always find my way back to them. So sometimes I get a need to wanting to stitch something small because I do want that instant gratification and something to be finished right away. And that's part of what I'm going to show you today. I had that feeling this week, and it's so funny how things work out this way. I got a message on Instagram from a viewer, and I've never spoken to this person before. I have never corresponded with her before on Instagram or any other outlet, but I've recognized her name just as it pops up on my feed on Instagram. And she sent me a message, and it said that she was really inspired by the Quaker Christmas stitch along that I have with Artie the Vintage Stitcher. And for those of you who don't know, I'm doing a stitch along of a Quaker Christmas sampler, and we've been doing this since June, but jump in anytime you want. But this viewer, her handle on Instagram is the Traveling Stitcher, and she sent me a message that said that she was inspired by the Quaker Christmas sampler and how she really wanted to find some Quaker ornaments, how we have talked about how you can take some of those motifs and make little ornaments. Well, she wanted to find just Quaker ornaments for a Christmas tree, and she couldn't find any. So that prompted her to want to design some. So she did. So she sent me a message on Instagram and said that she had designed a Quaker Christmas ornament and wanted to share it with me. So here it is. The name of her company is called Magnolia Nest Designs. And this is her very first ornament that she has designed, her very first pattern that she has designed. And she sent it to me. Well, first she sent me a photo and she's like, well, what do you think? You know, she was really putting herself kind of, you know, downplaying it. And I was just like, that is amazing. I don't know you, but I am so proud of you that you not only saw a need, a vision, that you wanted to stitch a Quaker Christmas ornament and you couldn't find it. And you're like, that's not going to stop me. I'm going to make one of my own. And she did. And I think she did a fantastic job. I said, I absolutely love it. So she got it together, sent it to me in a PDF as a gift, and said, well, I'm going to open an Etsy store. This all happened within the last few days. And I said, I think you should. I think you should absolutely open an Etsy shop, or however you want to get this out to people. And I think you need to design more. And I really hope to see more from her. But again, the name of her company is called Magnolia Nest Designs. The name of this ornament is called Quaker. It's a Quaker Christmas collection. And this one is Christmas Tree. And I want to read to you what she wrote in her design. And then I'm going to show it to you because I stitched it. So she writes, welcome. Thank you for purchasing this pattern. At Magnolia Nest Designs, we believe in the power of cross stitch to spark joy, summon serenity, create community, and inspire creativity. I hope this chart inspires you and would love to see your stitching on Instagram. Hashtag Magnolia Nest Designs. And I was like, that is absolutely perfect. And that is 100% correct. That cross stitch does spark joy. It does create community, and it does inspire creativity. All of those things. That's why I enjoy doing Flosstubes. That's why I enjoy sharing what I've been working on with you, because it makes me happy, and I want to share that with you all. And so many of you send me messages that you don't have stitching friends, or you don't have anyone to stitch with, and you look at Flosstube as you're just hanging out with friends. And it makes this community feel so much more tighter and closer. And I love that. So let me tell you about this design. She was clever enough to, it's a 3x4 finished design. It's 43 by 55. I stitched it in one evening. She has 3 different color palettes, or 3 different colorways. You can choose, and they're all DMC. You can choose the Prim palette, which is what this one is stitched in, and it's what I stitched mine in. She has a Vibrant palette, or the Elegant palette, which you just stitch in one color, whether it's white or green or red or whatever color. Oh, that's the design. This is beautiful. So here is what I stitched, and I finished it. So this came to me on Tuesday or Monday. I've stitched it up and finished it. So let me just let you look at it. So I love how simply elegant this design is. This is so adorable. So I stitched mine on 28 count, and this is stitched on 28 count even weave. And I brought you a swatch of what I stitched mine on. You like my scrap piece? So I stitched mine on 28 count Monaco even weave that I coffee tea dyed, that I've showed y'all before, and I had just a piece of it. And it did not take much of a material to stitch this on. Again, I stitched it in one night. The border is white. The green tree, that is just adorable how that pattern of it. The cardinals, I just absolutely love. So how I did this is I stitched it 2 over 2, so 2 strands of DMC over 2 threads of the 28 count Monaco even weave. I mounted it on sticky board, and how I do that is that I iron interfacing behind the stitched project. Then I cut the sticky board, put my batting, quilting batting behind it, and wrap the stitched piece around the sticky board and glue it on the back. And it gives it just a nice little puffiness. Then I took another piece of sticky board, and I had this plaid, green and red and white plaid that I got at Joann's, and I layered this again. I did another piece of sticky board and glued it on that. And then in between the layers, I did the Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet, Lori Holt white rick rack. Ooh. So, and that's all I did. And then I mounted it on a Stitch Etc. red paddle. This paddle measures, I believe, 4.5 by 5.5, so perfect. I can use this as an ornament on my tree. I can hang it on my tree. I can wedge it on my artificial tree, or I can even put it on a plate stand. I had this burlap ribbon that I made into a bow. I had some sprigs of Christmas, and then I made a button out of the same fabric to go on front of the bow. And I just love how this turned out. And so she not only sent me the Magnolia Nest designs, she sent me the pattern, but I immediately went to her Etsy shop because I didn't want to ask her to send me another one for a giveaway. And I purchased one for a giveaway today. So one of you will win this design today. It's a PDF download. I'll email it to you directly. So this is, I cannot wait to get more of these. This is Quaker Christmas Collection. This one is Christmas Tree. And I will let you all know as soon as I hear that she has more in her in her Etsy shop. So I hope you love it as much as I do. And I just love everything finished on these boards. I will link both her Etsy shop below and Stitch Etc.'s Facebook page where you can order these paddles. So I love it. I'm so excited. So because I got this last minute, didn't know that it was coming my way, all of my other stitching got put on hold. This became my focus. I wanted to not only stitch it all, but I wanted to finish it to show it to y'all because I was so excited. This would make a great gift just because it did not take me very long to stitch it at all. So good job, Magnolia Nest Designs. I am so excited for you and I cannot wait to see what else you stitch. So this design will also be a giveaway for tonight. The other thing that I worked on this week, I don't know if y'all remember, but several months ago, I believe it was in May, maybe April, I went to an antique store with my neighbor Nancy. Y'all have heard me talk about my neighbor Nancy. And I found this Prairie Schooler piece that was all by itself. It was just the stitched piece on this big piece of fabric. It was not finished, and it was kind of tucked in the corner, and I couldn't leave it. You know, even though I've stitched this piece, I've stitched it as a small ornament. This is one of the annual Prairie Schooler Santas. I couldn't leave it, and so I bought it and brought him home and never did anything with him, and decided this was the week that I needed to finish the Santa. So when I put out my Christmas decorations over the weekend, he can join us. So let me tell you how I finished it. All I know about this is that it's an annual Prairie Schooler Santa. Can't remember which one. It's one of the first ones, maybe 1988. I'll look it up and put it below. Whoever stitched this, they included the words Merry Christmas at the bottom. So I have never finished anything this big before. And I learned some things along the way. So let me tell you what I did. And sorry the jingles. But I used Priscilla's Pretty Plaids to finish this. This is obviously the black and the red. And much like my JBW Designs tutorial pillow ornament, I did the same finish on the front. I measured, but this time I measured 3-inch strips. First I did the top and bottom, 3 inches for the top. I've measured the width, did 3-inch strips, sewed those on. And then I took the measurement from the top to the bottom and did 3-inch strips on the sides. And then once I did that, I measured the front of it and cut a piece of fabric, and I sewed them right sides together, turned it inside out, and stuffed it as a pillow. If I were to do this again, I would make like an envelope pillow and get a pillow filler and put that in there, because it took a long time to stuff this big baby. Long time. And then I had to unstuff it, because what happened was this is so old and sprayed that it started coming apart where I sewed it together. So I had to take it apart and make my seam allowance bigger. Instead of a 1/4 inch, I had to make it a 1/2 inch, because the threads just kept coming off. If I were to do this again, I would probably I would have sealed it or done something to protect these edges. So after I did that and stuffed it, and then I sewed the bottom, I really should have stuffed it a little more, but it turned out okay. I have this wire, this is rope that I got at Hobby Lobby, and you can see it has like a wire to it. So I made a bow, kind of just a loopy bow, and then I had these bells, and I tied the bells to the bow and attached it with a safety pin to my pillow. And I love how it turned out. He is pretty big. I think the fabric piece, the linen piece, measured 19.5 by 17.5, I think. I think that's right, or maybe 19.5 and 24. I can't remember. It's pretty big. So it'll make a great pillow for my sofa, and I'm really happy about it. But when I was finishing this, it made me start thinking that, so I found this guy in an antique store, and somebody had given it away. I imagine somebody's mother, grandmother had stitched it, or who knows, maybe they did themselves and they decided they didn't want it anymore, and they put it in this antique store. Well, I wondered if it had been finished, would they have been willing to give it away? And I always say I would rather have a finished project than a perfect project. And if this had been finished, it could be in that person's home or their family member's home. So I think it's really important that we take out of our minds that things need to be perfect in order to finish it, and just finish it. Just enjoy it in your house. Let your family enjoy it. Let your friends enjoy it. Don't worry about things being perfect. Just finish it, because you went through the time to make it, and it's only that's only part of the way. Go ahead and finish it, and then you'll enjoy it and love it even more. And so I am so glad I gave this guy a home. I'm so glad that he is now finished. It's kind of like a book that was not finished, or you leave a chapter and you need to know what's going to happen the next chapter, like a cliffhanger. He was in a cliffhanger mode for many years, and now his story is finished, and he's in my house, and I love him. Sounds cheesy, I know, but here is Prairie Schooler Santa, and I believe he's in the Revisited Santa, but this one was stitched a long time ago. So that is my finish, my 2 finishes I had this week. My husband came up in my room the other day, and he said, "Oh, you finally finished him." So he's finished. So because of those 2 things that kind of got my attention this week, plus working on my kitty corn quilt, I didn't get to do a lot of my stitching. But I do have 3 whips that I worked on this week. So let me show you what I worked on. I showed y'all this last week. I started Jingle All the Way, Little House Needleworks, Jingle All the Way. And I only worked on the roof this week, just a little bit on the roof. So I am stitching this on 32 count country mocha, not vintage country mocha, just country mocha. The difference is vintage country mocha has the modeling on it on one side and plain on the back. The country mocha is just plain. It has no modeling, but this is 32 count. I am using all of the called for Classic Colorworks colors. So these are the colors that I am using. And I am really enjoying this piece. I love these colors. I like the linen. I like the design. So this is one that will get a lot of my attention this week. I do have other plans this weekend. Like I said, I want to put the binding on 2 of my quilts. I really, really want to work on that Blackbird designs. 'Tis the season. Since it's the first of the month, first weekend of the month, it's going to be Blackbird month here. So I need to work on that one. Oh, before I forget, these are the DMC colors from the Magnolia Designs, or the Magnolia Nest Designs. But these are the DMC colors. I had them laying out here and I just forgot. So it called for 6 DMC colors. And these are the ones I used. I used the Prim collection. Really, really pretty. A good shade of green. That green is DMC 520 and the red is DMC 3777. Just really good Prim colors. Okay. So I did make a little bit of progress on my Stitching with the Housewives Holly Jolly Dapper Doodads. This is almost done. And actually I was really making good progress on this and then got sidetracked. So here is what I stitched. I almost finished with Santa. He just needs boots. I started on the bowl on the right. And then the other bowl is all I have left. So I just have these 2 to work on. So that is coming in close to a finish. I am stitching this on 28 count Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm using 2 strands of floss over 2. And I'm using the called for Classic Colorworks. And I love it. And the last thing that I worked on this week is my stitch along I'm doing with Yoke on Instagram. And this is the Floral Motif Sampler by Scarlet House. Oh, where is the front? Huh. Well, oh, here it is. Scarlet House Floral Motif Sampler. A lot of you are doing this with this, and this is a beautiful sampler. I'll put the hashtag below for this sampler, but it is, I always forget it. I think it's Floral Motif Sampler with Yoke and Annie. I can't remember. I'll put it below. I am so sorry, I keep forgetting. But here is my progress. I am stitching this on 40 count Mallow by Picture This Plus. I am doing this 1 strand over 2, and the only progress I made this week is I got the green leaves. I keep getting too close now that it's getting dark outside, but I love this linen. I love that it has this nice yellow modeling. It's really pretty. And I'm using all the called for Gentle Arts colors. Like I said, 1 over 2, but you can do the DMCs. The DMCs on this are beautiful, but I happen to have the majority of the Gentle Arts, so I went with this. So that is all that I've been working on this week. Let's move in to I have a sewing room update. So, okay, I have a chair now in my sewing room, and it is a black and white buffalo plaid recliner. It's, you know, very small, nothing extra fancy, just I put it together, nothing fancy at all. But there's a local store here in Knoxville called Becca's Attic, and I will link her Instagram and Facebook page below because she does ship and nationwide, and she does a lot of Rae Dunn hunting too. But she has a beautiful shop that has farmhouse style decor. She does a lot of painting. If you live in the area and you want to bring furniture to her, she'll paint it for you and refurbish it. But I have a table coming from her that's going to be on the wall opposite of where I'm standing now. And it's just like a sideboard table. I'll have something hanging above it. and it'll kind of be the last staple piece in my room to kind of start then putting things on the wall. I need to get a couple more organizational things to help me organize a lot of my, just my finishing supplies. And I think I'm getting pretty close to kind of giving y'all an introduction to my sewing room. It's not finished by any means. I don't have anything on the wall, but I feel like I want to show you my space. So that is coming soon. So I'm excited about that. But thank you all so much for asking about it. So I did not get a lot of haul this week. It was a pretty quiet week for me. I think I'm saving my pennies for my trip next week. I leave on Friday to go to the Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin, and I'm super excited about that. Sorry for the crinkle. I ordered, I'm not gonna open it. I ordered from Fat Quarter Shop the Witchelt Ada Antique White 16 count, and I got it to go with my Peppermint Lane. I showed this in my whip parade that I wanted to start it, but I had everything ready to go except the fabric. The fabric I had here was too gray. So I went on Fat Quarter Shop and ordered the called for fabric, which is this Antique White 16 count Ada. So I will be starting this one. This will probably go with me on my trip because I don't think I'll need a magnifier to see it. The other thing I did get this week, I'm not going to bring over to show you, but I have to give a shout out to the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went on their website to order a new floor lamp. My magnifier bit the dust, and it was pretty tragic because I need not only lighting, but I need the magnifier and my readers to stitch, especially on 36 count and 40 count. So I went on their website because I heard that they do have a wonderful daylight floor lamp. So I went on their website, and it was on the weekend. I ordered it, and in the comments I said, please hurry, my floor lamp went kaput. I never called them. I kind of forgot about it. Never called them. I knew they weren't there on a Sunday night. I got my floor lamp by Wednesday. I've never met these people. I've never been in that store. I've never even been in the state of Oklahoma. And they sent it beautifully packaged right away. I was only without a floor lamp for just a couple of days. So thank you so much, Silver Needle. I really appreciate that. And I'm back in business with floor lamp. So that I thought was wonderful. So I just had to share it with you. Okay, so I got my Ada fabric. Something someone else mentioned when I was going through my whip parade that they commented that I stitch on a lot of different fabrics, and it's true. I stitch on Ada, I stitch on even weave, I stitch on 40 count, I stitch on 14 count. I really am a true believer that you stitch on what you like, what makes you happy, and what the design calls for. I mean, not call for in the description, but what it calls for to you. So if you are trying to find your floss and your linen and your fabric and you start pulling all these things together, stitch what makes sense to you. Don't stitch what someone else wants you to stitch or what the directions say. Stitch what you like. Stitch what you want to stitch on. So I do. I stitch on a lot of different things. So I can't wait to start Peppermint Lane. So I got some Happy Mail from some bag makers, bag designers, project bag designers. But some I've purchased and some were gifts. Dot Dot Goose never lets me down. I ordered this from her when I saw it on Instagram. And I absolutely love pink and I love blue. But I love pink and these muted colors for Christmas and winter. I thought this was a beautiful bag. And so I ordered it. And she sent this with it. So this is her little buddy that she sends with it. And you can put your floss in here, keeps it all organized. You can put your needle here and it snaps and you can keep it inside of your project bag. So thank you so much for sending this to me. Dot Dot Goose. I will link her shop below. Creative Country Girl. Tammy. So Tammy Blaylock with Creative Country Girl, she was at the Stitch Etc. retreat this September. in Greenwood, Indiana. And she had a booth, and I ordered this project bag from her. And she had a lot of orders. And I said, just put mine at the bottom of your list. Don't worry about it. I'm not in a hurry. And I am so glad to get this. This is the Lori Holt fabric with the vintage ladies. I love it. Oh my gosh. And look at this pink rickrack and that measuring tape ribbon. I love it. And then the back, more Lori Holt fabric. And I've shown you some of Tammy's designs before. She always puts in a hook for your floss ring. So Tammy, thank you for getting this to me. I'm so glad I ordered it from you. But she didn't just send this, she sent a little buddy because she knows how much I like pink and blue and Christmas. She sent for me as a little happy this adorable bag with a peppermint zipper pull, pink and green trees. I just love this. It just makes my heart happy. Thank you so much, Tammy. I will link her website. She has a website called TammyBlaylock.com, but her company's called Creative Country Girl. So those are some bags I got this week. And then I got from Dawn at Gamma's Treasures. Same thing, went on, ordered a bag from her. This beautiful Christmas bag. And hers come with the floss keeper as well. And this is her business card. She sent me a bag to give away to you guys. So this will be in our drawing today. Our giveaway. Look how beautiful this is with the red and the butterflies. So this will go to one of you in the giveaway today. So thank you so much, Dawn with Gamma's Treasures. I will link her Etsy shop below. And then from Fat Quarter Shop, they sent us some goodies too. They sent us, and some of these will be giveaways today and some will go for future giveaways. They sent us Farm Fresh Eggs by Lori Holt Floss Drops. There are, how many are in here? And all of these can be purchased on Fat Quarter Shop. How many are in here? I cannot see. 20. There are 20 floss drops in here. So this will be a giveaway today. They sent these squares. These are great quilt block foundation paper. So if you're a quilter, there are some quilting giveaways today. Quilt block foundation paper. This is great for beginners and for experienced quilters because you can do so much with this paper. They sent 4.5 inches, which fits on a 5-inch square. So for the charm packs, this would be a great piece of paper or paper to use on your blocks for sewing. They sent 3.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 1.5, and 1 inch. So these will be a future giveaway. Thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop. They sent a quilt pattern for called Geneva. This is designed by Christy Stahl. This is a crib, lap, or a twin quilt pattern from It's So Emma. This is a Geneva quilt pattern, and I'll link it below as well, but this will be a giveaway for today. And they sent a Rose and Bloom Block of the Month by Vanessa Gordson of Lila Boutique. And this is a beautiful book. It's printed by It's So Emma, Rose and Bloom, and it's beautiful. This is going to be pretty for spring. Look at some of these pictures in here. So this will be a future giveaway, but I will link it below if you are wanting to look at the book online to see what it is. Beautiful pattern book. So thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending those to us. So I think that's all we have today. Let's go over our giveaways from last week. So last week, our question was, what is your favorite Christmas movie? And I got a lot of fun answers. A lot of you like the same movies I like. A lot of you like the same movies you know as each other. So many different choices, and I loved it. I love this time of year when we're getting ready for not just Thanksgiving. Of course, I love Thanksgiving, but just everything, all the family, all the excitement, all of the togetherness, and just spending time together. So I get really excited this time of year, and I'm going to start decorating my house for Christmas this weekend because I am traveling next weekend, and then I come back and have to get ready for Thanksgiving, and I just want to be able to have it up and be able to enjoy it a little bit longer because it does take me a while to decorate. So hopefully I'll have a home tour in the midst of all of our exciting holiday season. Okay, so let's go over the winners for last week. So the first one was the Country Cottage Needleworks Gingerbread Village, the whole set that I have. This goes to Nancy Landers. Nancy Landers. Number 2 is the Bent Creek Waiting for Santa. This goes to Charla Francis. Charla is spelled C-H-A-R-L-A. Number 3 is the Charmed Stacked Snowman. This goes to Sherry with an I, Sherry Terry. Number 4 is the Cricket Collection Christmas Letters. This goes to Cindy Gaudet, G-A-U-D-E-T. Number 5 is the PDF download that Little Boot Stitch sent to us. This one is Christmas socks. This goes to Audrey Fleming. Audrey Fleming. Number 6 is a scissor fob that I made. This goes to Loretta, L-A-R-R-E-T-T-A, Mullen, M-U-L-L-E-N. Number 7 is the project bag that was gifted to us from Tiny House Stitchery. I'll also link her shop below. And this goes to Faith Clark. Faith Clark. And number 8 is Santa's Revisited the Prairie Schooler. This goes to Stitching in the Green Mountains. Stitching in the Green Mountains. If I called your name, please email me. I have all of my contact information is always in my show notes below. But my email is theproperstitcher@gmail.com. Please email me with your name, your address, and what you want, and I will get that in the mail to you. Now let's go over our giveaways for this week. So this week, okay, so here's how it works. So to enter the giveaway, please be a subscriber, like my channel, subscribe, like the video, and answer the question below. Please do not use the word giveaway, prize, winner, anything like that. People do search for giveaways on Flosstube. So please use those words. Do not use those words. I'm having a hard time with my words today. Please do not use those words, but use the number associated with the item you would like to be entered to win. You can enter to win all of them, and you can enter to win if you have won before. So here we go. So this week, what I would like for you to answer, I haven't asked this one in a while, but I would like for you to answer, where do you like to spend your stitching money? Please let us know of a local needlework shop that you like to spend your money. I do not have a local needlework shop nearby, but I call my shop several shops to place orders. If they do not have what I need after I called around, then I'll go online. But I like to go to Cross Stitch and Crafts in Johnson City. I like to call The Finishing Touch in Louisville, Kentucky. Those are my first two go-to shops that I call. I am excited to visit a new store next week in Spring Green, Wisconsin called The Country Sampler. So I like to know about other stores in our area and in our country, and I've even ordered from overseas before. So, and in Canada. Please let us know where you like to spend your stitching money. And if you are looking for a new place to shop, or if you're looking for places to call, well, read the comments below and get some ideas of places to call. So that is your question this week. Where do you like to spend your stitching money? All right, and here we go. We have several giveaways this week. Let me get them organized. They're organized. Let me just get them for you. Okay, The first giveaway is courtesy of the Fat Quarter Shop. This I showed y'all several weeks ago. This is Lori Holt's Be in My Bonnet Planner. This is a 2022 Be in My Bonnet Planner by Lori Holt. Beautiful planner. I will link it below. It comes in this beautiful spiral bound hardcover. Beautiful, beautifully organized and color coordinated with Lori Holt colors, all of those happy colors. So this is number one. Number one, the 2022 Be in My Bonnet Planner. Number one. All right, where did number two go? Oh. Number two, I am organized, they're just not in order. Number two is Heart and Hand Christmas Square Dance. This one is, it has Nutcracker scenes and Frolic and Wonder. Heart and Hand, number two. So 3 ornament designs. Number 3 are the floss drops, Lori Holt floss drops from Fat Quarter Shop. This is Farm Fresh Eggs floss drops. Number 4 is also from Fat Quarter Shop, the Geneva quilt pattern by It's So Emma. That's number 4. Number 5 is the PDF download that I will email you from Magnolia Nest Design. This is the pattern I showed you that I stitched. So this is what you will get. That is number 5. Number 6 is the project bag from Gamma's Treasures. Thank you so much, Dawn. Gamma's Treasures. That's number 6. Number 7 is Plum Street Samplers Salt Shaker Winter Salt Boxes. That is number 7. And number 8 is Little House Needleworks Winter ABCs. So cute. I love this pattern. So remember to enter, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and answer the question, where do you like to spend your stitching money? And have a great weekend. This weekend, like I said, I'm going to try to get the binding on 2 of my quilts so I can share those with you next week. Start packing for my trip, start decorating for Christmas, work on my Blackbird designs, 'Tis the Season, the Red Cardinal, and work on my Quaker Christmas. I haven't been giving that enough attention lately. So I will see y'all next Thursday. Until then, enjoy your time stitching. Don't worry about things being perfect. Just finish your projects so that they don't end up in an antique store somewhere and, you know, hope that Annie comes along and finishes it. So until then, thanks so much for watching and have a great weekend.